Y'all know I wrote a book, right? It's called Buy a Game, and it's free. Click the link down there, you got it.
DreAllDay.com.
There's a guy named James Altucher who has a podcast. Me and him had a couple conversations about being on his podcast. Then he kind of got this, he disappeared on me, so I don't know if we're going to do it. Well, actually, we are. I know we're going to do it. It's just a matter of when we're going to do it. But anyway, James Altucher talks about, in his podcast, one of the things I heard him say that was really good. He said, everything you do in life, oh, what's up, 10:20 p.m. in Australia, shout out to Australia. He said, everything people do in life, there are two reasons why people do things. Every single thing you do, or at least when people start telling you why they did things, rather, there's two reasons why. There's the good reason and there's the real reason. And I was just listening to this podcast episode I did on this podcast called the Generations Podcast with my guy Edwin. And I was just listening to that interview myself because I hadn't listened to it since I actually did it. And one of the great things I shared in that podcast, I'm going to actually share it on Snapchat so y'all can go find it. My Snapchat is Dre Baldwin. Make sure you follow me so you see it, because I'm going to post it this morning. And one of the things I was talking about, he was asking me, Dre, how did you end up playing, pro basketball? For those of you who don't know me, I played basketball overseas for 9 years. And he said, Dre, how'd you end up playing pro basketball? You went to a Division III college. You didn't start playing ball till you was 14. You didn't have that great of a stats in high school. You didn't have great stats in college. You didn't even play your senior year of college. You barely played in high school. How'd you end up going pro? What was it? Did you just become just super talented out of nowhere? Were you always talented? Nobody knew about it? People just hating on you, keeping you from your opportunity? What was it? And I said, no, it wasn't any of that. I wasn't that talented. I still, to this day, all my years playing basketball, never think I'm that talented, that much more talented than anybody else. Yes, I do have skills that I developed over time through a work ethic, but there was a good reason and a real reason. The good reason was this. The good reason, what's up, Rich from Charlotte? The good reason was I started working on my game all the time. I started going to the park, and the park eventually became the gym every single day, developing my skills. I started doing all the drills that y'all have seen me post on YouTube. For those of you who've seen me on YouTube, all the basketball videos, I started doing that stuff every day, and that's how I became a pro. I just hard worked my way into becoming a pro. That's the good reason. That's the good story, right? And it sounds so simple, but if you tell most people that, if I stand in front of a room of basketball players and I tell y'all what I just said, nobody's getting anything useful from it. So let me tell you the real reason why I went pro, because there are actually two real reasons. And I'm going to tie all this in, ladies and gentlemen, for how it can actually work for you, why it matters to you. It's not just about me telling you the story, but it's a way that it can help you as well. The real reason is this. There's two real reasons. Here's the first real reason. The guy who recruited me to the school that I ended up finishing my career at is called Penn State Altoona. It's an NCAA Division III school. His name is Kenny Macklin. He got fired after my sophomore year. He got replaced by another coach, this guy named Armin Gilliam. And this whole story is in my book. It's called Buy a Game, by the way. And it's free on my website. If you go to DreAllDay.com, I'll send you the book for free. Anyway, this new coach named Armin Gilliam, he used to play in the league. He came in as the coach, and he got rid of all the returning players except three of us, me and two other guys. And then we didn't really have that much talent. We didn't have a good mixed distribution of players. We didn't have no size. I'm 6'4". He wanted me to play center on the basketball team. For those of you who watch basketball, y'all know that the center is somebody like Dwight Howard, Shaquille O'Neal. They're like 6'10", 6'11", 7 feet tall. So that wasn't working, because even in college, it wasn't a lot of 7-footers we faced, but they was at least bigger than me and stronger than me. So I wasn't able to really do anything effective down low because he had me playing center or power forward. So me and him kept butting heads. Eventually, he kicked me off the basketball team. He kicked me off the team when I was a junior. So I still had a year and a half of college to go, and I didn't really have any prospects for transferring because I didn't have no stats. I couldn't call no coach and be like, yo, coach, look at my stats from this school. Come recruit me. That wasn't going to happen. I didn't have no stats. I had no track record. So I had to finish out my schooling there, even though I wasn't on the basketball team. So when I walked out of the gym that day, I said to myself, look, I'm better than everybody in this gym. But if you just get an average person off the street, let's say one of y'all who didn't know me, didn't know nobody, and you just looked at the situation and said, hey, who's better, Dre, this guy here, or these guys in the gym? You would have to say these guys in the gym. And the only reason is because you can only go off of what you know, which is these guys are on the basketball team and this guy is not, even though he's talking about he's better than them. So I had no proof. So I knew for posterity's sake, the only way that I could prove I was better than all those players was for me to make the pros. So that was in 2002. This is in December of 2002 that happened. I didn't start playing the pros till September of 2005. So the first good reason for me to become a pro had nothing to do with how high I jumped, Had nothing to do with dribbling drills, had nothing to do with any move that I copied, nothing to do with footwork or a personal trainer or any programs. It was the fact that I had to prove that I was better than all of those players in that gym that day, even though they weren't even the ones that kicked me out of the gym. It was the coach. But I made that story in my mind. Again, I talk all the time about the stories that you tell yourself can either kill you or it can motivate you to go do great things. So that story that I made up in my mind was that I must prove that I'm better than these guys was my first real reason. Now, the second real reason is this. When I got out of college, I got home back to Philadelphia, which is where I'm from, and my parents, this is my mom and my dad had a conversation with me. It was mostly my mom talking. My mom's a teacher. She's an educator, really good educator. I've seen her tutor students that ended up skipping grades. My sister was a student that she tutored that ended up skipping grades. If you ever read any of my writing, my blogs on my website, not my website, but my books, which are at dreallday.com/Amazon or /iBooks, you could credit my mother for that because she had my sister and I reading books from a very, very young age, which fed my love of reading and writing. But anyway, when I got home from college, she's like, hey, what are you going to do next? You got your degree. I got a degree from Penn State in business management and marketing. She said, what are you going to do next? And I said, well, I'm going to play professional basketball. And her eyes damn near popped out of her head. She said, you going to do what? And you got to understand, if you look, you got to take everything, look at the context of the situation. She's looking at me like, all right, so this is my son who, when he was 11 years old, he used to come home crying because he didn't make the basketball team. This is my son who went to high school, tried out for the basketball team 3 years straight, didn't make it. The one time that, hello to you too, whoever that is, the one time that I came to a game to see my son play in high school, he didn't even get in the damn game. This is my son who in college, I didn't follow his career that much, but the one time I went to a game, he barely played. And then I heard he wasn't even on the basketball team anymore his whole senior year. So you would just think, just looking at that without knowing anything, just looking at the facts, this guy's not going to be a professional basketball player. He's going to go pro in something other than sports, like the commercial says, right? So when I told her I was going to be a pro basketball player, she had no understanding of where I could come to that conclusion. And I understood that. Logically, I understood how she couldn't understand it. But emotionally, when she was like, well, why you want to be a basketball player? You didn't even play in college. You need to go follow the blueprint. You need to go get a job. You got a degree from Penn State. You need to go get yourself a job so you can get a car, so you can go get yourself an apartment and move out of our house. You need to, at the time I had braids. She's like, you need to go get yourself a haircut. So these are all the things she's saying because she only knew what she knew. Logically, it made sense. If you would have just look at that situation logically without knowing me, knowing nobody, you would have said, hey, that perfectly makes sense. Hello to you too. But emotionally, since I knew a little bit different than logic, because we know if all of us just acted on logic, this whole world would be completely different than it is. Emotionally, I used that as the motivation. That was my second real reason. And the reason that I shared, and anyway, that was in the summer of 2004, a little bit over a year later, I finally started playing pro basketball, and the rest, as they say, is history. The reason I share all that with y'all, ladies and gentlemen, is that in life, there will be a lot of, anything that you do, there will be a lot of good reasons. There'll be a lot of good reasons to do things, ladies and gentlemen. But what you really need, Jim Rohn says this, the only thing stopping people from crossing the bridge from where you are to where you actually want to be, if you're not there yet, are reasons, real reasons. You need real reasons to get to where you want to go in life. And if you don't have any real reasons, you're going to be continuously butting your head up against the wall and not getting there. And when you have real reasons to achieve anything in life, it's not really about the how-to. It's not about the technicalities. It's not about somebody helping you out. It's not about a training program. It's not about hiring a trainer. It's not about any of that. When you have real reasons, things are going to work out for you. Somebody said that it was freezing. Well, you're going to have to watch this on replay. Ain't nothing I can do about the freezing. For those who don't know me, my name is Dre All Day. Come from the city of Philadelphia, live in South Florida. My background, professional athlete, 9 years overseas, like I just said. Now I am a professional speaker, coaching consultant, author of 7 books as of Friday. I got my 7th book publishing on Friday. It's called Dre Philosophy, Volume 0. I'm doing a TED Talk also this Friday, TEDx Coconut Grove down here in Miami. What else do? I do a lot of things, man. Marketing and branding business, a lot of social media work. And anyway, and I do these Periscopes. I got 4,000 videos on YouTube, And I got 4,000 blog posts on my website, dreallday.com. So any of you want to contact me directly, the Snapchat's Dre Baldwin. You're already here on Periscope. Twitter is at DreAllDay. And I will talk to y'all. Say they don't understand. Well, if they don't understand English, that's their problem. If they want to watch, they can still watch. Maybe watching me. But maybe watching me will make them learn English. That's why they watching. They trying to learn English. So they got it. If they want to talk to me, they got to say it in English. If they don't say it in English, I don't understand. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Work on your game. DreAllDay.com. Make sure you get my first book, Buy a Game. It is free. Click the link right here below in the video description. I'm on all your favorite social media platforms, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Periscope. All the links are right down here below. Is either Dre Baldwin or Dre All Day on each one of those sites. And make sure you are subscribed. Hit that subscribe button down there and the thumbs up like button. Subscribe so you catch all the new content. Work on your game. Dre All Day.